Hello and welcome to none other than the long-awaited Subnautica 2. Upon opening the game, I get a message saying that I've landed on a desert world named Zazura. I choose a character, and as my eyes slowly open, my PDA kindly informs me that my lungs are not equipped for the atmospheric pressure, and that I will die in the next 13 minutes if I don't get an adaptation. I talk to this little robot dude who says his name is Noah, and he says, "Lil bro, you're cooked. Go get an adaptation." So I walk through this door thinking that that's where the adaptation is until I finally interact with this strange plant thing. It leaves a gooey substance on my hand, and now apparently this plant and I are relatives. As I explore the wreck, I discover that it was clearly somehow destroyed. I walked out through a hole and my PDA told me something I wouldn't have been able to deduce otherwise.
A serious accident has occurred.
I start talking to Noah the robot again, and he tells me that I'm a qualified investigator, and our mission is to build a human future on this world. I flicked a few latches on the back of my life pod, and I told Noah to launch. My PDA gave me a bunch of errors, and my life pod went absolutely berserk until I passed out. Oh, that hurt. I wake up to my PDA who tells me there's a Titan class biosignature, which I interpret as big living thing, on the horizon. My PDA told me that we're not on Zazura, the planet we intended to land on. I made a knife and picked up a medical gel sack just to get blasted in the face with acid, but I picked up the little brain looking things because I needed them for batteries. I found out I needed silver for a bunch of upgrades, but I couldn't find any anywhere. I crafted a scanner, and my PDA gave me an inspirational callback to Subnautica 1, which I thought was really cool.
Stranded on 4546B. Riley Robinson used a field scanner to outwit teleporting alien cyborgs and treat his Kara infection.
That's actually so cool. I love the callback. I scanned a toxic sponge which also sprayed me with acid. This has to be in the top 5 most accurate PDA descriptions. Hateful and malicious sponge. Noah tells me that he is receiving no signals or signs of other human life. I scanned a biolab and found out that my body can support biomodifications, whatever that means. I went back to the life pod and Noah told me that he'd found the black box of a survivor named Anita. I found the black box and came across another one of these mutation plant thingies. It gooed on my hand again, which allowed me to eat the alien fauna safely. I found another mutation plant which I find out was called a bloom core, but it was getting consumed by some sort of alien parasite which I had to eradicate before I could get gooed on again. Noah found another black box belonging to a certain fella named Chap, who in space gave me his PDA login so I could play games on his account. Based. But little did he know I just logged into YouTube and subscribed to hit channel Porky Person. I found this small habitat built into the wall and collected Chap's black box data. He was suffering from some sort of disease, and his friends were encouraging him to reprint his body so that he wouldn't have so many symptoms. Apparently in this game respawning ain't no thing, because Noah can just reconstruct a healthy version of your body. In a voice note left on the counter, I discovered that Noah, the machine, can become delusional and spread any sort of misinformation as long as it helps complete his mission. It's saying that the AI can technically go crazy.
Upgraded.
Oh.
Inventory expanded.
Ooh. I found a silver node that I couldn't break and continued my search for the elusive material. I ran into this cool little crab dude which I found out is at least as intelligent as a gorilla. I found a PDA entrance that was just completely unfinished, and I found a part of the wreckage of the ship that we crash landed on. Damn. That's sick, dude. I found something in the top 10 most tough plant names, and I discovered a message from a dude named Gonzo, who says that all their equipment is down, they can't reprint, and they're on their last life. Something that I don't get though, is that this dude says that they're on day 700 something of survival. If I was friends with all these people on our ship, the Cicada, which Noah implies multiple times by describing memories that the survivor has with these people, wouldn't we have all crashed at the same time? Was I just asleep for 4 years longer than everyone else, like you guys are sleeping on me if you don't subscribe? Sorry man, I had to do it. I don't know, but I hope I figure it out soon. Regardless, Gonzo says swim southeast to find more. I do really like that the compass is built into this game and you don't have to find it. Whoa. Sure enough, I find a reasonably large habitat suitable for up to 20 people to live in. I listened to a really dramatic voice note from a woman named Nahima who claims that I very well may be the last living human in the universe. We also get one of the lines from the gameplay trailer, which was really cool.
You're going to die here. the most interesting thing you can see and explore.
I scanned my sonic resonator and wavemaker fragments, and a dude named Wu told me about 2 different viruses called the Macefield syndrome and proteovirus. I spoke to this habitat's NOAA node, who does not know how the inhabitants died, but he points us in the direction of the black box of Dr. Wu. Nahima also talked about the tyranny of Noah, and that whenever you become uncontrollable or self-sufficient or go against his primary directive, it will wipe your rebellious memories faster than the one thing in Men in Black that I don't remember the name of because I'm not Unk. I got back home and I still didn't have any silver, nor did I have a functional fabricator to craft anything in. I've been recording for an hour and a half, have not seen a single silver. Noah has another black box recording consisting of the subject asking Noah not to open the what? Only for Noah to drown her alive. The next voice note comes from a woman named Ruby who appears to have gotten attacked by a marrow breach, whatever that is. What? Furniture Reaper Leviathan? Okay. Lost River poster. Oh dude, I love the callbacks. But before I could go back out there, I dropped a flashbang in my life pod. So far, the music is good, the sound design is great, the graphics are pretty good. It feels super different from Subnautica 1, but at the same time kinda similar, which is probably exactly what they were going for. I scanned my final habitat builder fragment, and I got an audio message saying that the Jubilee went south to the caves where the crabs die. Again, whatever that means. I built myself the habitat builder, and I killed myself to reset my stats. All prints that share a common set of memories are referred to as a fork. Does that mean that you could have 2 bodies with the same set of memories and that would be like a fork? Is that what that's implying, or am I reading too far into that? We are building a base before getting any method of transportation or any increased oxygen tank. That is crazy to me. I built my little box and confused myself with the new system of building. Wait, what? What? You use a fraction of titanium? That is so strange. I now have 0.14 titanium. That is really weird. Oh, I love that they snap. Oh, the grid snap is so tough. I put some storage lockers in the crib and finally came across silver 2 hours into the playthrough. So I upgraded my oxygen tank. 75. Oh, that's slightly better. That is so slightly better. Built myself the wake maker and went to Ruby's location, who probably died to a marrow breach. Then I found more than one voice log of people drowning because Noah didn't listen for some reason.
Noah, do not open the seacocks. Do not. Oh, shit.
Dude, what happened here? It sounds like Noah flooded this place. I found another one of those mutation plants, but it was clearly consumed or dying to these viral blooms, which I believe are also giving me auditory hallucinations.
The infection.
Whoa. Weird. I constructed my processor and built the only power I could, solar panels. I also built my biolab, but ran out of power pretty quickly. I gave myself the Sea Skimmer passive and the Dash active biomod. Wait, that's sick. Oh, that's cool. That's so cool. That is pretty cool. Whoa. That is sick, dude. I was having a good time. Okay, we are actually genuinely making crazy progress now. Oh, I forgot you can make stuff with stuff in storage. Oh, that's so nice. That is so nice. I finally made my sonic resonator before getting another location from Noah, further foreshadowing about a virus. I expanded my base a little bit and installed a battery charger for myself. I found a viral bloom in a cave and I very wisely resorted straight to shooting it with my resonator. I finally figured out how to treat it, so I eliminated all the viral blooms while trying to dodge the marrow breach. Dude, I feel like I'm in a boss fight right now. I got the heat tolerance buff, and now I think I have 3 plant-related cousins. I scanned my final bioreactor fragment and put it in my base, assuming that it would be a good source of power. That assumption was incorrect, but I didn't know it at the time. Dude, this is so gorgeous, man. Look around, dude. Holy crap. As I explored further into the hot biome, I'm sure there's a better name for that somewhere, but I don't know what it is, I discovered some sort of items that appear to have been built by an intelligent alien species. Noah gives me coordinates to a facility called the Tadpole Pen, but he recommends me bring my own tadpole to get to. It is at this point that out of sheer curiosity I explore off the edge of the map, wondering if it was the void or if that was just a deeper biome. Oh my god. So that's the void. Jesus, dude. I finally scanned my third tadpole fragment and accidentally triggered this gigantic clam to close up with me inside of it. Luckily, the speed of my air bladder had nothing on this Tamatoa wannabe. I thought that might happen. I installed for myself a moon pool and a landing dock before finally constructing my tadpole. Ooh. The maneuverability on this is so weird.
Echo analysis detects a precipitous silence. Be alert for a sudden drop in the seafloor.
I visited the tadpole pens, which appeared to be on the edge of the world with some sort of squid leviathan waiting for me in the void. Oh my god. Whoa. A voice message from Gonzo claims that his gang went after Ruby to the hot caves southwest. I couldn't access half the tadpole pens because I needed a certain key code, so I scanned the Scout Ray chassis and left. I finally read through my contract with Altera, which basically claims that they are in control of me, I make no money, I can't take holiday, retirement, or even permanent death until their goal is achieved. Noah tells me to proceed with utmost caution to the black box of a woman named Zip, who was one of 10 people who were killed in this geothermal cave. So I built my tadpole chassis and of course went down into the geothermal caves. Zip tried to convince the others that they could live here safely and mentioned that other intelligent alien species, the tailings, were too scared to come down here. But the fact that she was gassing this place up will naturally lead me to wonder how she and 10 other people even died. How did she die then? I really don't understand how so many people died down here. That's dead crab number 2 and 3. After thinking I found everything, I returned back to my life pod to try to keep track of how many colonists' black boxes I found. Knowing that there was originally 26, I had found 13, meaning I had found half of them. I scanned my final repair tool fragments and found a message from Gonzo reiterating that they're going to try to find some sort of key that Zip had. Back down in the caves, I discover even more voice lines of people mysteriously dying. I finally found Zip's black box, and her death message makes it pretty clear that the people died due to oxygen deprivation, or hypoxia in scientific words. Using Zip's code, I managed to get into the top half of the tadpole pens, where I had a conversation with a digital bodiless ghost-like reincarnation of a survivor named Sophie Boucher. Sophie warned me that Nehima wanted to wipe out the colony because Altera is keeping these colonists alive purely for the purpose of an endless cycle of slavery. Sophie has the realization that she is a digital skeleton of herself and not actually alive, and she again proposes that I might be the last human. I learned that Nehima is obsessed with the tree, which is the root cause of the Macefield syndrome, a delusional obsession with the world tree. Sophie claims that there is no human future on this planet until we eradicate the Macefield by destroying the tree. I asked Sophie if there's still an alien species here, but she's under the assumption that the species of indigenous aliens that were here were destroyed by the Macefield and the world tree. But some of them survived, guarding their ruins to the east, which, if I can get access to, might contain their trick to surviving the Macefield disease. As it turns out though, what I thought was void earlier is in fact not. So I have to travel across it, past the giant squid, to get to the alien ruins. So I reluctantly hovered as close as I could to the surface of the water and quietly made my way across the chasm, trying not to soil myself and my tadpole. I really do not feel comfortable doing this, man. I discovered a large alien tower and an Altera structure nearby, where a voice message from Sophie informs me about a few crew members who were abducted by the Axum tailings and taken to a cicada wreck nearby. I spoke to the local NOAA module, who gave me a few directions for places to explore, and told me that this place has been visited by non-humans several times since its abandonment. That's not terrifying at all. Okay, a whole lot of information was just thrown at me. I think I feel as if I should make a new repair tool, or make a repair tool period before I go investigate anything else. I decided to go back home to make a repair tool, but before then, I scanned a rebreather from some sort of mining platform. On the way back home, I was chased down by the squid dude, but I guess my tadpole and chassis outran it. I went to go charge my ship, but didn't have any power because it was nighttime. But Noah had a black box recording from Ruby, who was attacked by a needler. I crafted my repair tool and finally made a rebreather. On the way back to the alien ruins, I was attacked by the Collector Leviathan, and he was not a fan of me mocking him. Collector Leviathan. Oh, that does nothing. 7% damage? Oh, there's another. Oh my god, please. Yeah, if that were to have hit me again, I would have been cooked. Oh my god, Collector Leviathan. I found a structure either built by the original precursors from Subnautica 1 or built to mimic the original precursors from Subnautica 1. However, I can use it to translate this alien's language, the Axum, to something that I can understand, if I can find more examples of alien language. I found the Tadpole Depth Module Mark I, but I didn't know where to find the resources I needed to craft it until I got out of my life pod and opened my eyes, because it was right there in front of me. Oh, that was easy. I went back home and my Noah node played a voice message from ISO, who sounds like he's getting brutally mauled by some sort of alien species. I built my modification station, but I was missing one singular Celestine to make my depth module, so I had to go all the way back. But I found my upgraded fins, which now that I think about it, I'm not 100% sure that I ever even made them. But I came back home, made my depth module, and ventured over to ISO's black box location in a wreck on the other side of the map. That's cool. I like that repair animation. Haha, that's funny. Yes, the keep calm poster.
The tailings have taken me into a cicada wreck. They are crawling directly on me. They have many limbs and complex mouth parts.
It appears he was assaulted in more ways than one within this wreck. I fear for the moment I encounter any of these tailings. I found Tadpole strike armor and a voice log from Sophie swearing that she will stop Nehema from eradicating humanity through the world tree. Gonzo's voice line provides a clear explanation of the Protea virus as it's encouraging him to go towards the tree and feed himself to it. I found conduit crystals, which I spent a long time looking for, and I happened upon this alien mining operation of some sort. My PDA told me that I could get renewable resources by extracting metal from the water, but God only knows how to do that. I crafted some engine efficiency modules because I almost ran out of power in my last excursion, and then I returned back to this alien structure. I powered the device on, but the PDA told me that I can't see anything on the screen because I need an adaptation. I picked up this electric Jordan never did that move? Whatever the case may be, this is George 2.0. He's mine. With the help of George, I found the second feedback resonator fragment, and my PDA warns me against mixing alien technology with that of humans. I was trying to craft a whole bunch of stuff, but my power kept running out, so I genuinely had to wait till day to do the things I wanted to do. I will say, it seems like if you don't move your base, when you get to like the later game, it just feels like you're going out there and then coming back to craft something, and then going out there for a resource, and then coming back to craft something, and then going out there for a resource. That's been what the past like 3 hours of my gameplay has been, which has been a little annoying, but I guess it is what it is. My Noah found another black box, and we wondered together what the tailings or Axum might look like. I finally upgraded to the alien version of the feedback resonator, and my PDA says, nuh-uh, TS is a bad idea. With my upgraded alien technology, I found out that I could actually scan certain aliens to unlock their passive biomodifications. I scanned George to get an electroshock pulse, which I didn't end up using, but at least his spirit is in my biolab forever. I then scanned a water slug, which unlocked another passive biomod to recycle my own body's water, not unlike the water filtration suit in Subnautica 1. I opted to use that one over the default passive biomod because I thought it would be more useful than swimming fast when you're close to the bottom of the water. While exploring a wreck back in the other side of the map, I hear more tragedies involving the tailings. So, of course, I explored the wreck, only to hear Tuba also getting zeroed by tailing gonks. I scanned my final hull chassis and heard a deep growl above me. Curious as to what type of creature would produce such a sound, I quickly activated a voice log and half-heartedly listened to a dude named Mantis glaze himself talking about some "let it be known that we were the first to discover an alien species." But who cares about all that, because I'm trying to scan this distant cousin of the reef-backed Leviathan. I scanned the deep-wing brooders, which I theorize may produce some sort of resource similar to the seed shredders in the first game. But that's just a theory. Proceeding onwards, I found another wreck which my PDA told me may have been moved to block access to a source of the virus below it. I'm sorry, moved? By who? Who did that? I discovered my high-capacity air tank, and I also discovered the hole in which the wreck was moved to cover. Slowly but surely, I chipped down at the viral bloom until the juvenile angel comb awoke. Lastly but not leastly, I destroyed the viral bloom in the main root area thing, awakening the main angel comb, aka mutation plant, aka goo giver. The goo, however, gave me permanent schizophrenic hallucinations of alien technology never seen before by the likes of humans. My PDA told me to locate the main controls to restart the power plant, and the alien technology genuinely did all this. Locate main controls to restart power plant. What is going on? Locate main controls. Where would those be? I feel like I should visit the drilling site. Wait, main controls. Maybe that's what that tower is. Because they were saying the tower might hide secrets. Hold on, let me check the tower. I feel like that's more promising. I genuinely did not know where the main controls were, so I genuinely looked in the giant tower thing I found earlier. I found no main controls, but my PDA told me that I need a generator to get access to TS door. But ain't that what I just turned on though? I don't know, I have a feeling about the drilling site. Because that's the only other major place where there's alien technology. So I genuinely followed the purple power lines up to this giant alien control center, thinking that the main controls must genuinely be there. I was mistaken, but rather than take the loss out like a man, I decided to redeem my failure by scanning the Collector Leviathan, which worked, except that he stole my tadpole and threw it out of the border of the map. Let me scan. Oh my god, this takes so long. Oh no. Oh no. He then gobbled me up like a white girl's hot Cheetos, causing death number 2. But hey, at least I got the scan. Not only did I get the scan, but I actually got another message from Noah revealing the location of one of Zip's black boxes.
The whole complex must be so corroded.
Oh damn, 120. Okay, that's not too much better. Now what is the Leviathan one? Turns out the active biomod for the Collector Leviathan emits a sonar pulse to highlight nearby resources. To be honest, I never really tried it out, but it didn't sound better to me than the dash. What can I say, the dash is fun. Okay, we also have slowly grow nutritious algae on your skin. Gross. But now I have to make another tadpole. I made another tadpole and attempted to rescue my first one. I got the first one out of there, but the second one was left in shambles by the Collector Leviathan. I got it far enough away that it shouldn't be targeted because collectors cannot be trusted within 1,000 feet of a tadpole zone. However, I kinda just left it there, having no way to transport 2 tadpoles at once. I collected Zip's second black box, and it appears she killed herself on some electrical wire that she thought had no current. All I can say is I could see why she was sent here as an unpaid laborer to colonize the new planet. I'm not sure if the oxygen deprivation got to her brain, but it doesn't seem like there's too much going on upstairs. Then I scanned something that's definitely in the top 10 most tough creature names before listening to off-brand Neil deGrasse Tyson while swimming back to my base.
To us,
electricity means modernity to the Axum. It's as old as bronze.
When I returned, I was in such shambles for power that I put my bioreactor in overdrive and still had to deconstruct some parts of my base before being able to breathe oxygen. So I did what any sane man would do and made a molehill out of a mountain, doubling down on my mistakes of not finding renewable power by building another bioreactor. I returned back to the alien power plant to find out that there was a broken fan module, which in order to repair it, I needed, as the PDA put it,
An enormous quantity of resources.
Despite the fan being broken, I went into the control center and made sure to use my schizophrenic alien vision to line up all the doohickeys and beep boops. I feel like I'm getting pretty close to the point where I could be beating the game pretty soon. But my base is complete shambles, bro. This is the whole base, and I have to go back and forth constantly between here and the alien ruins to craft stuff. So I would like to make a goated base over in that area, but I don't know where yet. We'll have to figure that out. Then I spent a few minutes pointlessly roaming around the map looking for a place to build my base until I found a perfect heat crevice for my intended form of renewable power, the thermal plants. I put a bunch of them down, but while looking for resources, I came across a highly motivational note from Nahima.
Noah is going to start printing duplicates. Every morning, the biobeds will print 10,000 of us.
30 seconds.
Every day, we'll maximize our KPIs and OKRs, and Noah's utility function will say, these people are happy and healthy. Mission complete. Humanity is thriving. Then in the evening, we'll all climb into the beds, and Noah disintegrates and resets us. A perfect day. Forever.
I don't know how this is gonna go, but I'm gonna try to do a building montage. Wish me luck in the editing room. No, my editing room is not just my bedroom. Why would you even ask that? I'm sorry to pause the montage, but you have no idea how satisfying it was to walk in on that door and see 80 power that I didn't have to go catch fish to produce. Why am I sitting like that? Oh my gosh. Yo. That's hilarious. Once I was done with that, I had to find a way to get both my hull tadpole and my speed tadpole to my new base. Unfortunately, the only way I could think to do that involved getting both tadpoles to one side of the collector trench, driving to the other side, swimming all the way back to the remaining tadpole, only to cross the collector chasm yet again. Collector chasm. That's kind of tough. Anyways, here's my base tour. If you want to skip it, if you're an incel and your girlfriend left you for a mustached Mexican man named Eduardo, here's the time code. I've been recording for about 3 hours, and I'm going to show you guys the base that I've cooked up. It's taken me forever, but this is what we've got cooked up so far. This is kind of the view from around the base, and I kind of like this location. It's really pretty. It's got a whole lot of resources, and it's pretty safe too. I used the geothermal power from that little crevice over there, and I have a whole bunch of power connectors that run up this wall. That took a lot of titanium and copper, but this is what the base looks like, chat. I was going to have a second floor, but then I figured that there was no point for it, and that's a lot of titanium. So if you go ahead and go in here, we have 80 power. We're using 60 of it, but I'm not even worried about power, because if I need more, I'll just put more geothermal vents because they're just so good. We have storage lockers for every single type of metal, almost anything that's like harvestable with this little gun. We have battery charger, power cell charger, fabricator of course, and a processor modification station. I was considering getting more than one processor, but I don't know if I'm going to do all that. In this hallway is where I was going to put the ladder that would go to the second floor, but there is no second floor. So we have a little scanner over here that's kind of useless. I feel like if there was upgrades into it like the first game, then it would be a lot better. I'm probably never going to use this, but it kind of has some aura. In this way, we have the time of day display, and we have our little bedroom here. I have Noah here, who I think I'm done talking to Noah. I don't think Noah has anything else to say. But I have all these posters that I found. There are definitely some posters, like a few minutes ago in the video, where I saw like Marguerite and a bunch of other stuff, but it wouldn't let me scan them, so I don't know how. Maybe it's a bug in the early access, but I want to put up all the posters, but it just wouldn't let me scan them for some reason. I'm not really sure. But this is all the ones that I have. This one's really cool. It's probably my favorite. But out here we have like a little dining area. Now if you go through here, this is where we keep the tadpoles. It's a little dark. Maybe I'll put some more lights in here. But this is my like speed and maneuverability tadpole that has a small amount of storage attached to the back. I just found out that you can put storage on the back of tadpoles. Because I've been trying to avoid content on this game, like seeing stuff and getting spoilers. I would have never even thought to try to do that, but I saw it somewhere online. And so I wish I knew about it earlier, but I'm glad I know about it now. And in this tadpole we have the storage module and the, you know, powerful hull and stuff like that. So this is where I'm going to go if I need to harvest a lot of resources, and this is where I'm going to go if I need to cross that area with the Leviathan. And in here is where we have all the upgrades that I have made so far. Yeah, but that's pretty much the crib tour. We got both of the tadpoles that I'm going to be using on a regular basis, and of course I had to put the Reaper Leviathan in here because he's the GOAT. The only thing that I feel like this place is kind of missing is some sort of aquarium, but that doesn't exist in this game yet, so we'll have to wait for that to come out. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. Originally it was just an H until I had to put in the scanner room, but I still think it looks really cool. And I'm very, very excited to have reliable power. Like, oh my god. But if I need more, I can just go down into that geothermal vent and put more geothermal powers. But I'm really excited to be here and to be just settled down into a permanent base with reliable power and everything like that. So the only thing is, I know there are upgrades that you can upgrade your hand slots, your 5 hand slots, and you can upgrade your inventory slots, but I don't know how to do that or where to go. I think I have to find people's sleeping pods, and Noah hasn't given me anything either, so maybe I just have to come across them randomly. But if so, I don't think that's gonna happen by the end of my playthrough. So I'm just gonna have to use the amount of inventory slots I have, even though I would really like to get all of them. That would be awesome. But I don't want to like look it up or anything. I want to be able to find it myself. But if I find it myself, I'm just never gonna find it. But I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll just go to every single signal and double check everything. But anyway, on with the rest of the video. I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do next, to be completely honest. Maybe I'll look for inventory upgrades, or maybe I'll just go try to beat the game. I'm trying to beat the game to get this video out, but I'm also trying to take my time and build everything that I want to build and do everything that I want to do. And I think I'm pretty happy. I'm really happy with where I am so far. But yeah, this is what the view looks like during the day. Yeah, I really like this view. I'm sure there are places that are cooler, but I really like it. And there's a whole crap ton of resources here, so I'm happy. I just feel like this area as a whole has a lot of aura, and it's a pretty good halfway point between the safe shallows area and the alien mines, whatever, which is pretty much what I wanted out of my base. So yeah, I know I've said it like 5 times already, but I'm very happy with this base. Okay, before we beat the game, I wanted to show you guys that I made this wonderful improvement to my base. I figured out that you can use small pieces of glass. I didn't intend to do this, but I thought it looked, I was trying to do like a little thingy like that, and I thought it looked like a mustache, and now I just have mumbo jumbo in my Subnautica base, which to be honest, I'm really not complaining. And that's Eduardo. So I mustered all my resources and repaired the alien air conditioner. Despite the fact that my mechanical engineering major paid off and I fixed the fans, I still pressed the buttons to no avail. I looked confusedly at the diagrams and frantically drove around the map, wondering what the heck I did wrong or that I hadn't done yet. Eventually, I went back to the original room, figuring there was something I was missing, and I realized that I had forgotten to turn on these little red buttons here. All of a sudden, voila, we have power. Insert obligatory Breaking Bad clip.
Yeah, Mr. White. Yes, science.
My PDA informs me that the Alien Tower Observatory is now powered, but I didn't care because I was listening to this peak music and marveling at this alien generator. Damn. The music is so tough. But alas, it's time to find out what these aliens were hiding once and for all. I opened the access port and swam through the automatic doors into a beautiful chamber of alien architecture.
No living thing has disturbed this space in more than 2 centuries. The observatory's water is enriched by oxygen bubblers. Please do not become accustomed to this convenience.
My PDA told me that the aliens had created a map of the solar system and that Noah would be able to tell us how far we are from Earth. After reading a little bit about the solar system display, I ventured upwards towards the next room. I interacted with the next node and a translated message to the architects began to play, asking for help to save the world tree by crossing the massive trench, finding a species called the Veps, and being careful not to wake up the Cryptors. You can continue to explore, build, and enjoy the world, but you have reached the end of the current early access story and progression. We want to thank you for playing and hope that you will join our open development process as we continue to add to the game in the future. Your support means everything, and we know we make the best games possible with your feedback. Unknown Worlds. Dude. This is gonna be so sick when it's in full access. When it's completely done. Oh my gosh. Wow, dude. Damn, dude. It'd be sick if we can go all the way to the top. I mean, I don't really know what we would do up there, but it's interesting the controversy. The aliens seem to think that the tree is a good thing, but I think the other people were painting it out to be the source of the corruption. So that's interesting, I guess. You know that you are not on Zazura, therefore you've deduced that you are not 14 light years away from the nearest phase gate. Your PDA identified the pulsar in the Axum Ore as whatever that is. It is near the galactic core, 20,000 light years from home. We have traveled further than any human beings in history. There is no possibility of rescue or return. The civilization we build here will not reconnect with humanity for at least twice the length of recorded human history. Adding further analysis to your PDA databank. That is crazy. How did we get here in the first place? That's crazy. 1 light year is about 6 trillion miles, or 10 trillion kilometers. So 10 trillion times 20,000 is a very large number. This is officially the end of the story, but I wanted to make a little bit of a segment in the end here to go over things that I thought were absolutely amazing about the game, and some of the things that I thought could use some work. Let's go over the bad stuff first so we can end on a good note. There are definitely lots of places the game is lacking in terms of leviathans, decorations, vehicles, food sources, and farming, just to name a few. But I don't want to focus on what they don't have because I'm 99% sure that all of the wonderful additions I can even think of and more are going to be added. Instead, I would like to look at what they have that I think should be changed. But trust me, the list of that is really short. The first and most major thing that comes to mind is the Collector Leviathan. Incredibly, insanely cool Leviathan, absolutely nothing against him. Except, I did not like that any time you were anywhere near him, the epic music started playing. Part of what made the Reaper Leviathan so scary is that you could be outside of the Aurora having no knowledge of the Reaper's existence, and all of a sudden your Seamoth is getting thrown around like a rag doll. It was absolutely terrifying. Even the subtle roars in the background added a super eerie feeling to the environment when a Reaper was close by. If there was a musical cue that started playing 2 minutes before you got attacked, there would be no fear factor. And yes, there were a few moments in this game that genuinely scared me, but in my opinion, it wasn't enough. I don't want to know that a Leviathan is coming. I want it to unsuspectedly appear behind me so I genuinely stain my pants brown when I get grabbed. By the same token, I find it really annoying how often I had to go back and forth between one side of the map and the other, but that problem could have been solved if I made some sort of a base. But they made a player accessible base in the alien ruins probably for that exact reason, and I never used it, and I didn't build a base until I was like 95% of the way through the playthrough, so that one's definitely on me. There's definitely more that I can think of, and I do think the storyline is really confusing, even more so than the first games, especially because there's so many characters. But I do believe that's the kind of thing that as you play the game more and listen to certain voice logs and read PDA entries, it'll make more sense. So that's not necessarily a game flaw, it's just more complicated than the other two games, and that's okay. In terms of what I love about this game, this video would be 30 minutes longer if I mentioned everything, but I love the new vehicles and their attachment system. I love that the map layout is not so deep and is instead wider. I love the new art direction that this game is turned towards, keeping the same cartoonish but somewhat realistic style, but flipping it into a whole new world and a whole new reality. There are only a few times in the story where I genuinely had no idea where to go or what to do next, but that's to be expected in any game. I was attentive and on the edge of my seat the whole time, so eager to beat the game, to the point where I had to slow down, take a breath, read some PDAs, upgrade my base, and really take in everything around me, because you only get one first playthrough, and to be honest, I'm really happy with mine for the most part. I'm also happy I didn't do it in multiplayer, which is not to say that I'm not excited to play multiplayer, because I really am. You will see some multiplayer videos from me very soon, but I don't think it would have been the same if I did my first playthrough with friends. I love how the game functions in so many similar ways, the life pod, the same battery charger, same fabricator, but it looks so different in a new and creative way. The developers did an amazing job staying true to the style of Alterra that made Subnautica what it is, while also drastically increasing the quality of life. And it's crazy to think that this is just the beginning. And although the game is lacking in interior decoration, I'm 100% sure that that will come in the future. I'm also impressed that they kept the game at $30, the same price as Subnautica 1's launch 8 years ago, even knowing they have the top wishlisted game on Steam, and there are diehard fans like myself that would happily pay more. This game is obviously still unfinished with blank PDAs, mismatching voice lines, certain bugs here and there, not to mention the giant orange borders around the whole map, but I've told my friends this and I genuinely believe it. I think upon full release, Subnautica 2 could take the cake as the best Subnautica game in the franchise. Unknown Worlds can do no wrong, and I hope all their employees have cool pillows, no lines in the drive-thru, and an umbrella readily available when it rains. Absolute props to you guys. My name is Porky Person, and if you've watched this long into the video, you deserve a kiss on the lips, and if you subscribe, you just might get one. I guarantee you guys my next video will be on Subnautica 2, as I will be grinding this game on repeat throughout the rest of TS Summer. I hope to see you all there. Peace.